Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's my birthday. I'm 25. I'm officially in my mid-20s. I know that people think that like 24, 25, 26 is your mid-20s. That makes no sense, okay? 25 is your mid-20s, which means next year I'll probably still say I'm mid-20s because I don't want to say late 20s. Never mind, my logic is flawed. I'm gonna be doing this a lot, aren't I? It's weird, I look in the mirror and it looks fine, but somehow in the viewfinder, I think it looks barcode-y. Okay, we're gonna stop talking about my fringe now. I'm 25 years old today, and I have been away from YouTube for literally like a month. I took a full, proper, entire month off of YouTube. I didn't announce it, I just went no, and I logged out, and I stayed logged out, and it was beautiful, and I will talk more about that in another video, but today I wanted to do something kind of fun that I've been waiting like several years to do. I remember a few years ago I planned to do 23 things I learned in 23 years. Didn't film that video, and then last year I wanted to do 24 things I learned in 24 years. Didn't. So this year I'm 25 and I figured, come on, 25 is a good number. I need to at least try and film that video. And so that's what we're doing here today. I've got a list of 25 things I've learned in 25 years, and I think I'm in a decent position to give you some more generalized advice, things that I have learned that may or may not apply to you. And if they don't, maybe at some point they will, so take notes. I learned this shit the hard way, and I'm giving you a cheat sheet, okay? Another thing about having a fringe is that now it doesn't quite matter if I'm very expressive with my eyebrows. You can't see it. Thing number one that I learned in 25 years is don't be afraid of the rain. This sounds so dumb. I wasn't literally afraid of the rain, but I didn't grow up in a country that, where it rains a lot. It was always relatively sunny back home, and I remember that even just the weather being overcast was enough of a reason for us to stay at home and not go out today. And that became very, very difficult for me to cope with when I first moved to the UK, because it's always overcast and it's always raining. And I remember it kind of made it really difficult for me to like want to leave the house and to want to go out and do things, because every day it was grim weather. So it was an adjustment, okay? Thing number one, go out in the rain. You won't die. You'll be fine. Number two, trust yourself enough to know who deserves a second chance and who doesn't. People can only hurt you as many times as you let them. When someone tells you who they are, believe them and walk away. Number three is trust your gut. In a fight between your head and your heart, there's times to be ruthless and logical and put your feelings to one side and do what you know has to be done. And there's times where your feelings just kind of outweigh the logic and it becomes a bit more complicated than that. Give yourself the opportunity to feel it out and trust your gut. A lot of the time, it'll steer you in the right direction. And if it doesn't, you'll learn a valuable lesson. Number four, question everything. Specifically your own thoughts and your own feelings. Get to the root of every single thought and feeling that you have. Understanding the way that you work and how you think and why you feel the way you feel about certain things is the key to resolving 99% of your issues. Promise. That is the biggest thing I have learned from literally 10 years of therapy. The most valuable thing. Learn to be introspective and recognize your own thoughts and feelings and get to the root of them. Number five is a bit niche, but important nonetheless. Do not, under any circumstance whatsoever, share shisha mouthpieces with your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your family. Don't do it, because if someone has a stomach bug, even if they don't know that they have it yet, you're gonna find out very quickly that they had a stomach bug, because now you have a leaky asshole. Ask for another mouthpiece. It's not worth the grief. Number six, call your family and text them often, all the time. Tell them you love them more than you think is necessary, because you don't know when will be the last time that you get to hear them say it back. Lots of things have happened in my 25 years of life that have taught me that it is not okay to sit on your feelings. Make them known, whether it's to your family, to your friends, to someone you like. You don't know what tomorrow is gonna be. We take our days for granted. And a feeling expressed is so much better than a feeling like kept inside. Number 7, and I feel like I should include this twice in my list. Get rid of anyone who no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. Just get rid. As you grow up, you start to not even have enough time for the people that you do like, let alone people you don't give a shit about. Number 8, this one is big for me. You are not stuck. Never. You are not stuck. There is always a way out. It can be really hard and it can be really difficult and it can take a long, long time, but you are fully in control of your own happiness, and you are the only person who is fully in control of your own happiness. So if you want it, you need to just go and get it. It's going to be hard. It's going to take so much time. It's going to take so much energy, but it is up to you. I had to learn that one the hard way also. Number 9, I couldn't not include this, but don't fake your orgasms. Just don't bother. If you are faking orgasms, you are going to have to continue to fake orgasms, because if you're having sex with someone and you're not having a good time but you're pretending that you are, and they're believing you and they think you're having a really great time, they're not gonna do anything different. They're not gonna switch anything up. You're shooting yourself in the foot entirely. Just don't fake them. There is no shame in not being able to get there during sex. If you can't get there that day, just say that, or tell them to do something different. They will get the hint. Just not if you keep faking it. Best sex of my life at 25. Whoop. Number 10. This is huge. This changed my life. Learn about love languages. It's not one of those like personality tests. I know personality tests divide people. You're either very, very into them, me, or you think they're a load of shit. Love languages are actually super like separate from that. Love languages are more about trying to figure out what you really value and what you interpret as love, and how you show love, and how that balances with your partner and how they show love and receive love. So you might be feeling really unloved because your partner is maybe showing you love in a way that you can't interpret as love. It sounds very confusing. I promise it's not. Just go and learn about love languages and take the test. It honestly blew my mind and it changed my life, and it has made everything infinitely easier for me to navigate when it comes to even just friendships or family or any relationship at all. Number 11, simple and quick. Every problem has a solution, and every solution can usually be found in the shower. Number 12, if it feels like a cavity, it's a fucking cavity, and brushing your teeth and flossing some more isn't going to help you now. Number 13, again, kind of niche, but could save your life. If you're at university or at school, do not, under any circumstance whatsoever, sleep with your flatmates or your classmates. It is the worst idea anyone has ever had, and it's going to end terribly. Don't do it. Just sleep with literally anyone else. Do not sleep with your flatmates and classmates. Avoid, 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 like the plague. Avoid. Number 14, don't let yourself get used to things that make you unhappy. Where there's a will, there's a way. Find the way. It's probably in the shower. Number 15, ink fever is a very real thing. Once you get your first tattoo, you can't stop. I'm on my 7th. It's fine. Number 16 is specifically that you can learn to like things that you think you don't. I mean, I used to hate coffee and I used to hate tea, and now I'm a big coffee drinker and I'm a big tea drinker. I used to hate wine, now I'm a big wine drinker. I still hate beer though, so there's that. That sounds quite specific, but I used to feel really strongly that the things I don't like are just the things I don't like, and it used to make me really like aggravated when people were like, you'll come to like it someday. I would feel really personally attacked by that. I'd be like, no, why don't you just believe me when I say that I don't like it? Why won't you just accept that? Why do you have to make me feel as though like, oh, I just don't like it yet because I haven't matured my tastes? Oh, it used to drive me nuts. But for better or worse, I have come to like a lot of things that I used to absolutely hate, such as coffee, tea, wine, broccoli. Keep an open mind. You never know when you're going to be eating your words. Number 17, being single and living on your own is one of the best things that I ever did for myself. I was so afraid to do it. I'd never been properly single before for a long period of time, and living on my own in a completely separate city in another country to my family, that was terrifying at first, but it was such a massive learning experience and it was so valuable to me. So even though now I'm not single and hopefully won't be again ever, but I'm not single and I'm not living on my own anymore, but that was one of the best experiences of my life, and I think everyone should do it at some point. Number 18, don't let other people make decisions for you. This is your life. It is your path. Only you can live it. And if you're doing something for someone else, for example, if you are taking a job or going into a career because it's what your parents want, your parents are going to die. I hate to be this blunt, but like, everyone is going to die, and by law of life, your parents are most likely going to die before you, which is very sad, but that's not the point. When they're gone, you're going to be working a job that you don't want to be doing. And for who? Now that they're gone, now that the reason you were doing that job that you didn't want to be doing for someone who's no longer here. Putting my life in that perspective is what gave me the strength to fight for what I actually wanted to do. Don't make decisions, big decisions based on what somebody else wants for you. Decide what you want and make a plan for it and live that, do that with your life. Number 19, wear your goddamn retainers after you take your braces off. It is not worth the faff of having to wear adult braces. That is not a bragging right. I'm not happy that I had to wear adult braces because my dumbass teenage self couldn't wear retainers to bed. Yeah. Wear your fucking retainers, man. Number 20, listen to your family and your friends when they're concerned about your relationship. Oftentimes, people on the outside can see clearly into a situation where you're enveloped in it and you can't see what's going on. I was in a very toxic relationship for 3 years, and from within, like, I kind of knew something wasn't right, but I didn't see it for how it truly was. And it wasn't until my friends and my family sat me down and said all the things I didn't want to hear. It wasn't until then that I really listened and started to see things for how they were. It could be that your family and your friends are completely wrong and they're being judgy and, you know, you don't have to listen to them, but at least consider what they're saying and think about whether or not there might be some truth to the things they're concerned about. Number 21, your body can do so much more than you believe that it can. Just because you're maybe trapped in a body right now that you feel is letting you down, that like you can't exercise how you want, you can't run as much as you want, that doesn't mean you can't get to a position where you can do all of those things. I started this year not being able to run for 2 minutes straight, and now I can run for half an hour straight. And yes, it was freaking hard, but I pushed my body and I managed to do it. And it's the first time in my life where I've had good cardiovascular health. Believe in your body. Give it the benefit of the doubt. Give it the chance that it needs to be pushed. And do what you want. Your body will let you. Just keep trying. Number 22. I'm gonna try and be very clear about this. People are always going to criticize you, and they're not always going to be nice about it. But that doesn't mean that you should entirely disregard their comments because they're not nice. Any chance that you are given to grow, to improve as a person, is worth the slight blow to your ego. Just because someone didn't word something in the nicest way doesn't mean that there isn't some truth behind what they've said. that you can take on board and better yourself with. Not all criticism is bad. In fact, I think most of the criticism is good or can be used for good. So try not to take it too personally, but instead try to listen to it. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. We love self-improvement on this channel. Number 23, it was not for lack of love. That's one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite poets, Zach Gray. It was not for lack of love. I've had a lot of relationships fail, blow up in my face. I've been lied to, cheated on, I've been gaslighted, I've had relationships just fully blow up in my face, and for a long time I looked at it because I'm an introspective person. I said, okay, well, look, I know that I'm not terrible, I'm not a terrible person, but if everyone is treating me like shit, surely it's gotta be like at least partly something I'm doing, right? What am I doing that's attracting all of these people? I started to blame myself in some way, and I started to feel like perhaps I hadn't loved them enough or well enough, or I hadn't been enough in some kind of way. People won't always treat you right, and they won't do right by you, and it might happen over and over and over again, and it'll make you really fucking afraid to try. It'll make you really fucking afraid to believe that someone might be different, but I refuse to be stuck in that anymore because it was not for lack of love. I have loved unconditionally and relentlessly, and I refuse to be afraid to feel. Number 24, we are almost at the end. Stay open-minded enough to change your mind. The thing about being human and being alive is that we're constantly growing and changing and learning, and that's a really positive thing. I feel like people are actually very afraid to change, as if that somehow invalidates who they were before, and it doesn't at all. It is so important for us to listen to other people and hear their perspectives and experiences that they've had that we will never have ourselves for one reason or another. It is so important to allow ourselves to step into someone else's shoes and try to understand, or at the very least believe what they say. Making another person feel listened to is one of the best feelings ever for everyone involved. And number 25, I saved this one till last because I feel like I might get a little bit preachy. Not feeling 100% satisfied and fulfilled and happy right now in this moment isn't going to kill you. Nowadays, there's this massive culture of anything that doesn't bring you immediate joy is toxic and you must get rid of it, it's not worth it, and that is so entirely wrong. Not everything that isn't 100% perfect and what you want is toxic or harmful. Sometimes you have to do things you're not 100% happy about as part of a bigger picture, part of a bigger plan. There is something to be said for sitting out less perfect parts of your life because you know it's going to benefit you in the long run, because you know it's part of a bigger plan, because you know it's part of the path that you have to take to get you to where you want to be. Those are the 25 things that I've learned in 25 years. This video is so long, I'm gonna have to cut it down a lot. I feel like it's taken me ages to actually get my words out. It's now 20 to 10 in the evening and I still need to edit this. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like my fringe. If you don't, please don't tell me. I'm still sensitive about it. I'm 25, but I'm still fragile. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're happy to see me back. I'm super happy to be back, and I will see you next week for a brand new video, because I have videos scheduled for the next several weeks because I got my shit together before I properly came back. Okay, love you, bye!